We don't use the mind, we don't use our senses, but we use the divine intelligence that was given to us. So we go beyond the sense perception. It is our lucky day that we have come here together, and soon we will be going out on our own places. But it will bring memories. How much? I was told that Krishna consciousness is a personal undertaking. So we should matter our own Krishna consciousness. Do not try to look on your left, on the right. We should always analyze ourselves. How much did we learn today? How much have we taken the words of our Gurudeva? So time and again, I would say, take this opportunity. Grab this opportunity. This is a rare opportunity. It will not happen to you. It does not happen every day. It's very rarely can happen. I've been telling the devotees that for 40 years, who could say that I would be here speaking something? Did I enjoy this place? It is not a place of enjoyment. But I feel I want to belong to the whole, the Supreme Being. I want to be part of those devotees who are serving the whole. I don't want to have a separate interest. Although my body aches, feeling that I could not go on in our parikrama. But I saw the enthusiasm, the encouragement from you. So I try to overcome that. What can I do? This is the kind of body that was given to me. But what is suffering? Suffering is just an examination of how much Krishna consciousness do we want. We want the kind of Krishna consciousness as imbibed to us by Srila Guru Maharaj. Going beyond deeply than this material world of what it's saying. He says, I was translating his book, The Search for Sri Krishna and Reality the Beautiful. In 10th chapter, he says, we use the eyes to enjoy the beauty of the place that we see. What if you cannot see? How will you enjoy? So the value of this world becomes valuable because of the eyes, of the senses. What if you could not hear? But we understand from the Bhagavad Gita that the mind is higher than the senses. And the senses says, you like this, don't like that. This is nice, this is sweet, this is bitter, this is that, this is this. But we also learn from the Bhagavad Gita that higher than the mind is the intelligence. The intelligence says, hey, Prabhu, don't take this. This is against your health. You'll get sick. No, don't do this. Don't go over there. You'll find, you might meet an accident. It's dangerous to go to over that place. So from material point of view, we go to the finer point of view, to the spiritual point of view. We don't take an independent opinion, vision. We must always seek the mercy of our Gurudeva. Is the Gurudev the material body? He's not. What we are seeing is Krishna himself in the form of Gurudeva. I was very surprised when I am translating the book into Filipino. It says, Acharya Mam Bijadayan. I am the Acharya. Krishna himself says that. I am the Acharya. Why? I invested so many things from Gurudeva. The finest atoms that is within me, I already had given him. And I decided to reside in his heart. Gurudeva has captured my heart. So he is me. He is the Charya. That is the position of the Gurudev. But is he this material body? No, sir. We must go dive deeply. What if this material body is gone? How do we understand Gurudev? How will we find him? For many years, Srila Guru Maharaj has disappeared from our vision, physical vision. But still, he lingers around. We could feel his presence by his teachings. One day, Mahaprabhu and his group tried to seek shelter from a dilapidated temple. It was raining so hard, and it's dark. It's evening. As they went there inside, he noticed that there are also some devotees, some sannyasis are also there inside the temple, dilapidated temple, taking shelter. But as he stays there, Mahaprabhu heard something. Somebody is speaking about Madhavendra Puri. It's dark. You cannot see who is speaking, who is saying. And he says to his group, Madhavendra Puri is here. Is he the physical body? It is not. It is incomprehensible. And we can only find him through the heart. O Magdiyana Tiberanda siya, Jananjana Salakaya, Chaksur Ulmitan Yana Tasmay Sri Gupiramaha. It is the Guru. Okay, he's the only one who can give us the vision from physical vision to spiritual vision. He's the only one. He's the key. So, in the 10 offenses to be avoided when chanting the holy name of the Lord, he says, never try to abuse the sadhu, Gurudev. Why? Because Krishna has given himself to him. He invested himself. Krishna is giving something. What do you want? I can give you richness, fame, name. But Gurudev would always say, I don't want nothing. I just want to be involved in serving you. In serving the lotus feet of Sri Guru with Gauranga and the Vaishnavas. That is my desire. So Krishna shakes his head. But Gurudev is more merciful. He gives us the opportunity to serve Krishna through him. So take this opportunity. A time will come that our Gurudeva will not be physically present for us. So be very careful of this. Today, the world is in celebration with the Divine Appearance Day of the founder Acharya of Sri Caitanya Saraswati Thakur. Let's all bow down our head and offer our respects to Sri His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakhak, Srila Gosvami Maharaj, in celebration of His Appearance Day. Hare Krishna.
Давайте на Mahavir Maharaj. Dandavad pranam, all the devotees. We have international Zoom today in English. Mahavir Maharaj does not speak much English, but he's a very pure-hearted Vaishnava and sincere follower of Srila Govinda Maharaj and preacher in Russia. He will say a few words and I will translate in English, just for satisfaction of Guru Maharaj and all of you. Maharaj.
Считаю себя необычайно удачливой душой, потому что в этой жизни смог встретиться с необычайной, глубочайшей, совершенной концепцией, которая протекала проливается через сердце Гуру Махараджа.
I consider myself very fortunate soul because I got connection with this deep current of Krishna consciousness that coming through heart of Srila Guru Maharaj.
И, конечно, я необычайно удачлив, потому что Говинда Махарадж, по милости преданных, он принял меня своим учеником.
And I was so fortunate to be accepted by Srila Govinda Maharaj as a disciple, as a follower.
Единственное, что нам не хватает, чтобы именно понять и как бы концепцию, которая протекает и проистекает из сердца Гуру Махараджа и Говинда Махараджа, это единственное, что можно сделать, пытаться им служить носителям этих глубочайших и совершенных.
How do we get connection with the conception? It is not intellectual, not physical, not mental. It is coming through a current of service and self-dedication and sacrifice.
Как говорил Говинда Махарадж, отдай свое сердце и получи свое сердце.
As Srila Govinda Maharaj would normally say, giving heart, you will receive the heart.
Еще мне запомнились навсегда высказывание Гуру Махараджа, что служение – это награда.
And also, I always remember when Guru Maharaj stated very important statement, service is the gracious gift of God.
Я кланяюсь перед всеми, надеюсь, не трясти милость.
Therefore, I'm giving my Dandavat Pranam to all of you in order to beg you for a drop of grace.
И быть когда-нибудь более совершенным инструментом.
We all instrument of service, but we have to become a perfect instrument of service. So I'm praying that you give me blessings to become perfect instrument of Guru and Vaishnavas. All right, very well spoken, Maharaj, very well spoken. Очень хорошо сказано. Maharaj is a very good preacher, although he does not speak English, unfortunately. You know, Russia has always been covered by the borders, and Russian people not had so much necessity for English speaking because there was no chance to speak English. It was mainly internal country. However, there was many great scientists, as you all know, came from Russia, musicians, philosophers. Due to the nature of Russia, it's very Saturn nature. It's always country of big disaster and transformations. Whether it's revolution, World War II, there's always big casualties of people. It's always big drama. It's always death, devastation. Therefore, Russian people had very healthy skepticism of material reality. According, our history and tradition, people very skeptical about being happy in material world. They know anytime things can change and go worse. So that lead them to think, Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai, that lead them to think, how can we live in this world? And the answer is very simple, by the ideals. As Guru Maharaj said, you live by ideal. Because if you think the world is horrible, I'm horrible, the environment is horrible, then you're depressed and you're not changing and you're not progressing. But if you think environment is friendly, your enemy is your friend, teaching you, just like, going to boxing match, you boxing with somebody. If you accept that person as your guru, then you learn so much. If you accept that person as enemy, then you end up just, getting more hate. So Guru Maharaj is teaching us, actually, the Stoics, the Greek philosophers, they would say, you have to accept the world. Whether it's good or bad, don't try to change the world. Try to accept it. Now, how you change the world? By accepting the world, you're moving in this world towards perfection. And if world is resisting you, that means, run better. If you're running to the mouth, just maybe slow, but keep running. Like Vaikanas Maharaj this time, has some health issues, but he's running to the mountain. Maybe not the first, but he's going to reach the top of the mountain, whether it's Nandagram or Varshana, one way or another way, his goal is to reach the mountain. Maybe wait a little bit, maybe get a little help, energy. And sometimes, motorcycle is coming, grabbing him and taking him up or down. which means the help will come from above, as Guru Maharaj would say. The help is not coming from your own sense experience. There's always will be somebody who will come and help you, support you. And there will be always somebody you hope will come and help you, but they will not. That's what Govinda Maharaj told me. See, Guru Maharaj was a very saintly person, but even some people didn't like him. Why they didn't like him? Because he may not be very diplomatic when it comes about Krishna consciousness. He may not try to please everybody when it comes to Krishna consciousness. He's just been very straightforward and very one-way a person, which tells that Brahminical nature of Guru Maharaj sometimes would force him to go against his own interests. And that's what Govinda Maharaj said. He said, Guru Maharaj, you don't even know how to deal with government people. You don't even know how to lie. So you please be quiet, don't tell them anything. Because when they come with inspection, they're coming to look for trouble. And if you start telling them everything, they will find that and take as a trouble. Then Govinda Maharaj had to say, I will deal with them myself. So Guru Maharaj said, okay, I accepting this. I'll be sitting quiet and you deal with these officials. So one time officials came and they said to Guru Maharaj, oh, you have too much land and you have to pay tax. Because in India at a certain time, government did not start recognizing religion. They actually don't like to give religious exam. So they said to Guru Maharaj, well, we are coming here, you have too much land. Guru Maharaj said, well, this is a religious institution. I don't earning anything from that land. That land is for the service. They said, still, we have to tax you because you have one temple, but land is more and some building is there, so you have to pay. Guru Maharaj had no money, but he say, well, how much land allowed for the temple? And they say, well, according to the law, for one deity, means one Thakurji, allowed that much space free. Everything else taxable. But Guru Maharaj said, well, I have 3 deities, Radha, Krishna, Mahaprabhu. They say, well, Radha, Krishna, Mahaprabhu is the same. Guru Maharaj said, yes, but they're also separate. Radha, Bhava, Duty, Subulitam, Nomi, Krishna, Svarupam. He started telling them the slokas. And he said, Radha and Krishna not married. So everybody has its own land. Krishna has his own land, Radha has his own land, Mahaprabhu has his own land. Then these tax collectors were so much charmed by Guru Maharaj. And they were so much accepted by his depth of Krishna consciousness, sweetness, and self-giving. And they're joyfully said, yes, Swamiji, you convince us. You don't have to pay anything. Another way, one Gunda came to Guru Maharaj and he saw the donation box by the deity. And that Gunda was very strong Gunda and very, very egocentric. And he said, old man, I need that money. Guru Maharaj said, that is the God money. He said, I need that money because God has everything and I need the money today. Then Guru Maharaj said, well, I cannot force you with force. You are a strong man, you with a bunch of Gundas. But I can tell you one thing. You can take something that belongs to God. The question is, can you digest it? That Gunda said, don't worry, old man, I can digest anything. He grabbed the donation box and walked out, very proud. Next week, what happened was, next week, what happened was somebody got killed in the area, and everybody thought that Gunda has done it. He actually was, in this case, he was innocent. But because that was big case and police came and they took that Gunda and beat him for 5 days by sticks, almost killed him. Because they thought, well, this possibly that man killed the person. But then later discovered that he's innocent. But after beating him for a long time, he understood, I've not killed anybody, but I have committed more offense. I went to Sadhu and took Krishna's money. So then he came to Guru Maharaj with folded hands and brought back the money. And he said, yes, you're right, Swamiji. I had no way to digest Krishna's money. Then Guru Maharaj was very happy and he accepted Harinam from Guru Maharaj and became Guru Maharaj's disciple. Like this, pastimes of Guru Maharaj is going on every day. Sometimes not enough resources, sometimes not enough men, because very few men stay with him, very far away. That land is given by Sakicharan Babu, who's a very big disciple of Saraswati Thakur, a very wealthy man. But Guru Maharaj said, no, don't buy me land in Mayapur. Mayapur, everybody there. You buy me land, Navadvip, Kalerganj, Aparat Banjarpat, as Mahaprabhu. Forgive all the fallen souls. There I want to stay there. But Sakicharan Babu said to him, actually, that land is nowhere. Very cheap. Okay, as you want, I buy you that land. What you want, I do. And I come and stay with you. Then he came to stay with Guru Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj said he could not tolerate the Guru Maharaj austerity. Because one day, Guru Maharaj eat very simple rice dal, very cheap. Next day, he cooks something very simple. And not even proper bathroom that time. Sakicharan was very disturbed because he's a man of comfort and luxury. But also he said to Guru Maharaj, you are living like you don't care about anything. Guru Maharaj said, yes, that is my nature. I'm trying to get internal satisfaction. Nothing externally will satisfy me. Then Sakicharan, very happy with Guru Maharaj, but he said, I cannot stay with you. So then Guru Maharaj had to stay. And then Govinda Maharaj joined. And Guru Maharaj finally had some light. Then you see this boy is very, very active and know how to serve and how to do wonderful pastimes with Guru Maharaj, sometimes traveling, sometimes collecting, sometimes going to Prabhupada, Calcutta, doing some preaching. So there was very, very affectionate dealings between Govinda Maharaj and Guru Maharaj all their lives. And Guru Maharaj wanted Govinda Maharaj to become renunciate. But Govinda Maharaj, he could not manage that part in his early days. He had to marry and got 3 daughters. But all the time he come back to Navadvip and stay. So his mood was, okay, I have some family life, but I have to serve my Guru. And this relationship been going on a long time. And finally Guru Maharaj, at his very old age, he said to Govinda Maharaj, if you not take over this mat, I will break it. He said, because without living person, this is just a building. You know, worshipping the deity, that's not our only aim. Our aim to preach and to have living life. There were so many neglected temples in Vrindavan until some great souls came. Then Guru Maharaj had feeling to have a successor who will succeed him and exceed. Every guru wants his disciple to exceed him. But who can exceed Guru Maharaj in his knowledge and his depth of Krishna consciousness? We can say this is inconceivable. And why we say that inconceivable? Because Guru Maharaj's poetry in style of Rupa Goswami. If you hear Sanskrit poetry of Rupa Goswami and you hear the Sanskrit poetry of Guru Maharaj, you can understand where Guru Maharaj takes his tika and meter. So Guru Maharaj has some qualification, extraordinary qualification. And Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj would be always so much joyfully hearing words of Guru Maharaj, because he knew he had some taste for Rupa Goswami poetry. And when he heard Guru Maharaj's poetry, he was very, very satisfied. Not only that, Guru Maharaj also could write something like Premadhama Devastotram, follow the acharyas of the past. He would take main pastimes of Mahaprabhu and turn into beautiful poetry. Krishna, 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 Krishna Nama Kirtanam, Prema Dhama Devamevo, Nami Gaura Sundaram. Who understand a little bit about poetry will say, this is beautiful. Or Sudanarvudaradita Padayugam. That is all Gaudiya Math singing song. So Guru Maharaj had his skills and talent. And his skills and talent would be to think about what the Western philosopher would say, process deep through his heart, and say, actually, it is subjective evolution, not objective evolution. And some people don't understand how important it is, but no one ever in the world of modern science and religion merged together these ideas. What is evolution? How does spiritual evolution work? What is evolution of consciousness? Why it's subjective? Why it's not objective? Because objective reality is something we can experience, but subjective reality is something beyond our sense experience, but it's the principle. Just like in neurophysics, when people speak about neurophysics, they say the elemental particle is unpredictable because it's Paramatma. So the smallest particle is unpredictable. Once it's giving chain reaction, yes, it's predictable because it's karma, action reaction. But the original particle is, physicists would say, it's unpredictable. You cannot predict the movement. It can go left or right because it has its own will. Once reaction is done, the road is established, yes, then you can do your data trace. So all these ideas, Guru Maharaj has deeply meditated on, and they've been revealed to him, as well as the Madhurya-rasa and Bhagavad Gita. Guru Maharaj has followed the footsteps of great acharyas. One time, Madhva came to meeting of Mayavadis, and they chant Vishnu Sahasranam as the Brahmanas. And Madhva said, well, each name of Vishnu actually that you chant has 100 meanings. And they said, come on, it's 1,000 names of Vishnu. You're trying to tell each name of Vishnu has 100 meanings? Madhva said, yes. Each name of God has unlimited meanings, but at least 100 each name can be established. Each Bhagavad Gita sloka has many, many interpretations, and that is also need to be considered. So these Mayavadis were very amazed. Who is this great sannyasi, and why is he giving us something we never heard before? Then Madhva said, okay, I will explain you one name of Vishnu. And he's giving 100 interpretation. By the time he get about 90, they covered their ear. They said, no, please stop. We cannot, it's just too much information. We cannot process. He said, okay, I can more simply, so many meanings of Bhagavad Gita. But in his own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, he said very clearly, I will not speak something that has been spoken before. I will give something that has not been spoken before. That means at least he knows what the previous Acharya spoke on Bhagavad Gita. And actually, we can say deep trace of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Guru Maharaj. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has many esoteric books which revealing the deep meaning. Like, for instance, Sarvadharma Payutyaja Mamakam Sharanam Brajam. So then word Brajam equal to Vrindavan, come to Vrindavan. So follow that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, divine logics and divine perception. Guru Maharaj is discovering Madhurya-rasa and sloka Ramanticha Tushanticha Ramanticha, which romantic is change. And Guru Maharaj understands Sanskrit, and he understands the way Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur revealed things. But it's not easy to start thinking like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You need to have some, not only Siddhantic references, also big blessings. One time, they tried to disturb Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, local Brahmanas, and they tried to even kill him. Then he hid here in a Sevakunj. And they all come with stick to beat him because everything they say he totally destroyed. Then they could not compete. Only they said, only we should kill this man. Otherwise, he always will destroy our reputation, our earnings, everything. But when they ran to the garden, they saw a beautiful girl. And they said, where is that Baba? And that girl said, yeah, somewhere there. You can see him. They searched, nothing they could find. And after that, some time, everybody of them had dreamed that this person is that girl. He is the gopi of Vrindavan. Then they understood, what can we do like a frogs? Therefore, even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had some resistance. So Guru Maharaj also had some resistance. So resistance is the current that make you play better, make you go deeper, and make you uncompromisingly moving. So sometimes in our spiritual life, we have some resistance. But as Guru Maharaj said, if you take your resistance as your spiritual challenge and learn from it, you'll get great benefit. So, like I've said today to one devotee who's Guru Maharaj's disciple, he's a little bit depressed with his life. I said, losing one battlefield does not mean losing war. A war is many, many battlefields. And if you think, without losing one battlefield, I will do my war, then you don't understand what war is. War means challenge and loss and gain. But okay, maybe you lost one battlefield, two battlefields. Maybe you lost many battlefields, but your earn is to win the war. And war is with yourself. So the enemy is with yourself. Enemy is you, not somebody else. Krishna is not your enemy, he's your friend. Environment is your friend. So who's your enemy? Yourself. How to deal with yourself? Very difficult. So if you're just hoping yourself, you win war with yourself, it's useless. You need to approach some power higher than yourself, which is Guru, Vaishnava, grace of Krishna. Then the question comes, how you keep that grace? And Guru Maharaj is giving perfect answer by Sharanagati. It's taking Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sharanagati conception, surrender, and giving book Prapanna-jivanamritam, and going to six ways to establish what is proper surrender through, I would say, the words of devotees, through words of the Lord, through the action of devotees, etc. So that book is so valuable because it's the gist of all the Vedic knowledge to surrender to Krishna. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving some songs. Just again, Guru Maharaj just understand, okay, Bhaktivinoda is giving that, all right? Okay, what I do? I go this way. I go to that Bhagavad slokas. I go to that Kula Shaikar slokas. I go to this, and putting together, and beautiful book came out. And what to speak about him, his disciples like Goswami Maharaj and Mahayogi Maharaj made wonderful books like Search for Sri Krishna, Sri Guru and His Grace, all coming from Guru Maharaj's speech. And Guru Maharaj is not thinking, I will write a book. That time he's like Krishnadas Kaviraj, 80 years old. But every day he's coming and sharing his heart. Then it is service of disciple to glorify the Guru. So that is the number one rule, to glorify to your divine master, to your preceptor. And they've done it, very nice work. Madhurya-rasa Maharaj did very good publications of Guru Maharaj's articles, Goswami Maharaj, Mahayogi Ji, and other devotees also. Sometimes devotees we don't even know. We have many, many articles on our Russian website, harikrishna.ru. We collect. Also, over 5 years, Russian devotees put together an archive of Guru Maharaj. Most people, unfortunately, on the West don't know about that. But we have all archive of Sridhar Maharaj transcribed and online, with every lecture, everything. I don't know what's the reason why some devotees don't want to publish Guru Maharaj. Maybe they think, oh, Guru Maharaj will not be properly understood, interpreted. But I think, okay, maybe by someone. Maybe I cannot fully understand. But for the future generations and for our movement, we must not hide this. Give it out. Who qualified, he will receive that. Who less qualified, receive less. It is according to one capacity, as Guru Maharaj said. See, by Guru Maharaj's Vrindavan giving a response to us. Because everybody is chanting name of Radha, Radha. But Guru Maharaj is not doing it easily. But finally, Krishnadas Kaviraj said, you are Rupa Goswami man. Means you what you are represent is coming through our teachers. Then Srila Govinda Maharaj, by divine fortune, received two of these places here in Vrindavan. One is the Radha temple memorial where Krishna Das Maharaj wrote Chaitanya, and he established Guru Maharaj Samadhi, his murti, his Pushpa Samadhi is there. As Guru Maharaj say, I want to go to Gambhira, and if I die moving towards proper direction. Guru Maharaj's deep idea in Krishna consciousness, loving devotional service and separation, viraha. He's brought that principle of separation, highlight this, which is hidden. When Guru Maharaj is giving his commentary on Gita, Jadavar Maharaj said, please don't publish it. It's just our Gaudiya confidential stuff. Why we have to give it to everybody? Which is right. But Guru Maharaj said, okay, that might be confidential, that might be deep, that might be the highest of the high. But if we don't speak about that or mood, and we have not established is the aim of Krishna consciousness, then the superficial people will just join union with Krishna. Just like many people come here, oh, Hare Krishna, 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 Radhe, Radhe. But that's not how you get Krishna. Krishna is separation. But separation, in fact, has a special mood. If you don't have anything, there's no separation. Some feeling must be there. So Guru Maharaj is cultivating service mood. And through that service mood, some separation come. And if there's no separation, that means you earn nothing. Just idea that you are connected with Krishna is, we can say, superficial. Many sahajas, many devotees thinking, oh, I am in Vrindavan. I must enjoy the Radha Krishna pastimes. Radha Krishna pastimes is for me. Yes, that's true, but certain pastimes. And hearing from bona fide source. And the way, gateway to Vinde Vinde Gaura Padaravindam through Mahaprabhu is Guru Maharaj explained. Yet, there are 4-hour parikrama, thousands of temples here. You can go Bilmavangal Thakur Samadhi, you can go, Tulsidas Samadhi, you can go this temple, this saint, that saint, Swami Haridas, this saint. Like, Vrindavan is hundreds of saints. But what is our goal? If we would ask the Gurudeva and Guru Maharaj, how do we do parikrama? They would say, yes, you go by Mahaprabhu. What is Mahaprabhu highlight? What does Mahaprabhu show? What is he showing to Rup Sanatan, Raghunath Das? You do that. You will mix in Vrindavan with all these babas and you lost forever. And you become one of the folk. You can dress like devotee, you can Radhe, Radhe, but it's not real. It's appeared to be an imitation. And Guru Maharaj would say, what is our perception of Vrindavan? What is Vrindavan by definition? Is it a place of enjoyment? Yes, it's a place of enjoyment and Krishna liberated soul. Everybody else pay cash. 1,000 rupee a day for staying in Vrindavan. Do you understand? You have to pay. But in currency of Vrindavan is not money. The currency of Vrindavan is your service and attitude. If you can remain service attitude, you can stay in Vrindavan. If you come in here to enjoy Krishna, to enjoy shopping, to enjoy marketing, maybe 3 days, okay. Come into Vrindavan, see Vrindavan, get the hell out of here. But if you are willing to give your blood, yes, you can stay in Vrindavan. So Subhash Chandra Bose, the great freedom fighter of Bengal, when Bengali people said, oh, get out, British, get out, British. He said very simple, give me your blood and I will wash the way out. If you're not giving your blood, then how can you win? Remember, victory is always victory. No matter what victory is, it's washed by blood. It's a great the Greek or whatever the king said, the empire. If you want victory in this world without blood, otherwise you think you want victory and you want to enjoy. No, they make you slave. If you're willing to die for the victory, then there's a very chance of your thing. So Guru Maharaj is not showing victory, showing us. Okay. Okay, we're coming. Gurudev ki jai, Vaikanas Maharaj ki jai, Mahavir Maharaj ki jai, Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jananjana Shalakaya.
Пойдемте, там уже пушпа началась.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jayam Visipad, Paramahansa Paribrajaka Vajja, Asto Tarasta Shri Srimad, Kuduchuramani Sava Shastra Siddhantavit, Ananta Shri Vibhushita, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsav ki jai. We feel very humbled and honored at the same time to be here with the Vaishnavas at Sri Gupta Govardhan in the presence of Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar. I came to the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj over 40 years ago. And still to this day, I think it's some kind of mistake that it's not possible for somebody like me to have come in connection with him. I want to say, after all this time, I still don't know what is right and what is wrong, but that's not true. I know what is right and what is wrong, but still I always choose to do the wrong thing. But somehow, by the grace of the Vaishnavas, by the grace of Srila Gurudev, the devotees keep me in their company. And on this day, we remember Srila Guru Maharaj and we reflect on him very deeply. Every year, between 1982 and 1988, when Guru Maharaj withdrew his physical form from this world, I would go at this time to be with Guru Maharaj on his Vyasa Puja festival. In those days, the two big festivals in Chaitanya Saraswati Math were Gaura Purnima and Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. And I couldn't go every year for Gaura Purnima. Plus, it's a little like really hot for me. I don't fare very well in the heat. So I would go every year without fail to Guru Maharaj for his Vyasa Puja festival. And sometimes stay for a while if he would let me. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he has a divine plan for this world. And he is too much merciful to the fallen souls. I've been reflecting on this in recent years, that how much we are unqualified for the service of Lord Krishna. And particularly when I think of my own self, that even the question about that is just a joke. But we are dealing with not an impersonal absolute. We're dealing with a person, the person absolute, the supreme person. And that supreme person is so much kind and so much gracious and merciful to the fallen souls, that if we think we were not created by him just to suffer in this material world, but we were created for a life of love with him. So he must have some plan for our redemption. And this Srila Guru Maharaj called the Lord's loving search for his lost servant. We are those lost servants. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he, in his writings, over more than 100 years ago, he wrote that in the future, the fair-skinned Europeans, English, Russian, Chinese, they will all come under the banner of Chaitanyadev, visiting the places of Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Navadvip with their arms upraised, chanting Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, and going from place to place with the devotees of Bengal. And our Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he said, when I read that, I thought, yes, that must happen. If Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it will happen, it must happen, but not in my lifetime. But then he said, but now I'm witness that prophecy has come true, and you are all part of that. You have all come to join with the devotees of India with your arms upraised, chanting Jai Sachinandana, and going from place to place with the devotees of Bengal. So the words of Bhaktivinoda Thakur are most prophetic. And in that same prophecy, he said the day will come when every intelligent man and woman of this world must come to understand that the only hope for us all is the religion of divine love as given by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, we are thinking, yes, it must happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, but certainly it will happen. But at the same time, a profound feeling. And you may laugh and think, well, yes, of course, you'll say that because you're a disciple of Sridhar Maharaj. But I believe that his writings and his expressions of Krishna consciousness, they will be instrumental in making that prophecy come true. And without them, how will it come true? Guru Maharaj is himself, he said, I was born to preach in the English language. So through that, Krishna consciousness will be spread all over the world. Now we are thinking, so many of us are thinking, oh yes, he is another great Vaishnava in the Gaudiya line. But Srila Govinda Maharaj is not thinking like that. He's thinking history will show his preeminent position in the Sampradaya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not less than the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, not less than Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Srinivasa Acharya, Shyamananda, and who was the other? Narottam Das Thakur. Not less than them. And we just read it this morning. And we're taking our lead from Srila Govinda Maharaj. We can't imagine this. We cannot contemplate it, but we heard it from the lips of Srila Govinda Maharaj. Rupa Goswami appeared in the form of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. If we can understand that even a little bit, appreciate that even a little bit, then what fortune we have. And in the annals of spiritual history, that will come to be known to the world. And we were there. We saw firsthand his grace and heard from him directly. Srila Guru Maharaj said, if anyone will sit with me for 3 days, I can convince them entirely about the path of Krishna consciousness. And we saw that that was true. Actually, that was an underestimation. Sometimes someone could just sit with Guru Maharaj for an hour or even less and be fully convinced about the path of Krishna consciousness and embrace it wholeheartedly. It was no mistake that his Guru Maharaj gave him the title Bhakti Rakha, the great guardian of devotion. And I heard on a recording of Srila Prabhupada speaking with Guru Maharaj, and he said, oh, Prabhupada, meaning Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said in the future Sridhar Maharaj will save our Krishna consciousness. And Guru Maharaj said, oh, he said that? He's like surprised. Prabhupada said, yes, he said that. So the greatest preacher that we know in the world of Krishna consciousness, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he believed that in the future Sridhar Maharaj will save our Krishna consciousness, because he heard that from his Gurudev. So today is an extraordinary opportunity for us to be able to glorify his divine grace. So many books have come, not least of all from the hand of Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj. Those 5 books, Search for Sri Krishna, Reality, the Beautiful, Sri Guru and His Grace, The Golden Volcano of Divine Love, The Lord's Loving Search for His Lost Servant, and The Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, which Srila Govinda Maharaj said, these are my 5 deities, and we worship that. And so many other books also from Srila Guru Maharaj, and I believe also more books from his talks will come in the future, giving us deeper and deeper understanding of Krishna consciousness. And as well as his English compositions, no less his Sanskrit compositions. They're wonderful in themselves. Most notably, Deva Stotram, which is you can say, in poetry form, the summarized Leela of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the summary of Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Mahaprabhu himself embodied as a song, as a poem. I think that is Premadharma Deva Stotram. His holy scripture that manifested from his pen, Prapanna-jivanamritam, the life nectar of the surrendered souls. This is not just a compilation of verses about Sharanagati. It's his heart outpouring of what is Sharanagati. When you read, if you read Prapanna-jivanamritam, and you'll see before each verse that Guru Maharaj has quoted, some aphorism about Sharanagati. That's not an introduction to the verse, that's the book. That's if you forgive me, the meat of the book is that. And the verses are just substantiating that, collaborating that. And if you want to understand Krishna consciousness, all you need is that book. It is when Srila Guru Maharaj, in his own words, he said, when I left the valuable association of my godbrothers to go and live alone, I had to consider what is the one thing that's necessary in the life of a devotee. And my conclusion was that is Sharanagati. And without Sharanagati, it's all just a form. It's all a show. It's all nothing. Only when Sharanagati is actually do any of the processes of Krishna consciousness actually mean something. So this is essential, not just for Guru Maharaj, this is essential for all of us. So Srila Govinda Maharaj would say, you should read this book every day as a daily sadhana and discuss it. We need to discuss Sharanagati because we're not really that interested in Sharanagati. We're interested in, to our focus, we need to discuss what is Sharanagati, how to achieve Sharanagati. And all of that we'll find in Prapanna-jivanamritam. So many of Guru Maharaj's compositions. What can we say? Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary on Brahma Gayatri mantra is a unique revelation in the theistic world. It has never been given before, you will not find it in the Veda. You will not find it in the writing of the Goswamis. Guru Maharaj said, I heard that Jiva Goswami had given a similar explanation. I searched, but I could not find it. So what Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given, that explanation, short explanation of the Brahma Gayatri mantra in the line of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a new revelation in the world. We cannot overestimate our fortune of being connected with him in even the smallest way. If we can have some small appreciation of that. If the greatest preacher of Krishna consciousness in the modern day, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he considered Srila Sridhar Maharaj his Shiksha Guru. That wasn't just a formal thing that he said. That was reality. That was who he himself got his inspiration and strength for preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. And Guru Maharaj would say, I'm a backward pushing man. I like to stand at the back and push others to the front. So really we can see, those who know can see that, not to detract from the greatness of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, but he himself understood that his success is largely due to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. It's in his own biography, written by Satsarup Das Goswami. From the very beginning, I knew Sridhar Maharaj as a pure devotee of Krishna. And Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and Krishna liked that he would prepare me. There's so much intimate association they had together. And that inspired Srila Prabhupada. He had more association with Guru Maharaj than he did with his Guru Maharaj, with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that association inspired him to go to America and start the Krishna consciousness movement and spread that all over the world. And we're all there, we're all here because of that. So it is not a separate thing. It is not a disconnected thing. It is intimately connected with the exposition of Krishna consciousness from the heart of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. We are fortunate if we can even get a small connection with that, the smallest connection. And then Srila Guru Maharaj himself explained that to us, you know. We're not looking to be the first rank servitors of Krishna. Those positions they are already taken, they're eternal. Then not even second or maybe even third rank, but the slightest connection with the least acquaintance with that reality is enough to flood this whole world with Krishna consciousness. And so we think that prediction of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that will come about when people are exposed and able to appreciate the heart changing and heart pulling conceptions that Srila Sridhar Maharaj has presented to the world. It's all about love. And I don't mean that in like a hippie kind of let's all love each other kind of way, but real love. Love with a capital L. Divine love. And Guru Maharaj said, the greatest thing ever invented in this world, love divine. We are followers, Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, we are followers of those half-civilized jungle girls who invented this religion of the worship of Lord Krishna. That is our religion. And Mahaprabhu Chaitanyadev came to give that to the whole world. And that has come down in the few hundred years to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And he has spread that all over the world through his books, and through his dearmost servitor, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, whose life and soul was and is the preaching of the glories of Srila Guru Maharaj. So in our remembrance of him also today, we try to say something to glorify our Gurudev, to our Guru Maharaj, and we know that he would be most pleased for that. So anyway, I'll stop here. Thank you all for listening. Jai Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari.
Now we have with us Kumkum Devi and Srilekha Devi, Sudarshan Prabhu, Rai Kishori Devi, and we just wanted to hear something from each and every one of them.
You were here.
Thank you so much, Devashish Prabhu. It's such an honor to have a first and second and beloved initiated disciple of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, to hear your eloquent presentation from your heart and soul and years of sacrifice and service. We're just so blessed you're here, and thank you so much.
Bhakti Lalita Didi, you're very kind, and you are just here. So and asking me to say something, and so I will, but actually I am not very senior, and especially in understanding, but we're very inspired by all of the devotees here, from topmost to newest. And I can speak just a little from my perception and how I had the great fortune of coming to some understanding of what is this divine teaching. And of course, when Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to the US, we all have our stories of how we got grabbed, and they're all different, but they're all, I have no idea how or what I did to deserve or why I got this, but just that it was indisputably the answer, and there was a God, because this is coming from the divine plane, not from me, not from any of my so-called professors or some understanding, some intellectual endeavor I had been on, but just that grace came and made itself so attractive, there was no way we would not jump on that. I often think of the way a surfer jumps on the top of a wave, and they just want to ride that wave. They don't understand everything. They're not thinking about what they did before or how is this going to affect what I'm doing in 2 years. They're just knowing that riding the crest of that wave is the highest thing that they could be experiencing. And so we followed Srila Prabhupada as much as we could, and then we were orphaned and not knowing very much at all, but we thought Shri Guru, representing Krishna, was he only, he could only be the person, and now we're bereft because we can't see him before us. So we're trying so hard to read in his books and talk among ourselves about what is his real message. What do we do now? How can we continue trying the help that he was always giving? And so this was our struggle for, it seemed like many years, and seemed very desolate. And then by the grace of Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, we happened to be in the best place to hear what he had been doing and discovering, which was going to the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, which he had understood correctly to be Srila Prabhupada's desire for us, not just a permission, but his intention for us to do. And this was like a secret. And Goswami Maharaj was making it he was making it an open secret. And so we could learn something from him. And you all know now what those teachings were, because they've been published in the form of these divine books. But in the meantime, we just began to understand what we later read in Shri Guru and His Grace, something that Srila Prabhupada had always said, but we had not understood, which was Guru is one, and he appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me, and all others. So there, our problem of how to proceed was completely resolved, because as long as Shri Guru, who is sent by Shri Krishna himself, he comes as the Acharya, then we can still keep trying to keep a connection with this divine principle, however he's going to appear. And we're also fortunate enough that he continued to appear in the form of Srila Guru Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj, in front of our eyes, and got to have further association with him and further instruction. And by the first time I went to visit him, I just went to the mat. I had never even been to India before. I'd never been interested, but now it was becoming so real. And I got there, and Srila Guru Maharaj was not well for about 3 days. He was not coming out of his room very much, but somebody gave me good advice. They said, if you want to feel his connection, he's pervading this Dham. So you just do any service to this Dham. And I found one of those little brooms, and you can always sweep, even the outdoors. And so I just did that and felt extremely happy. And what I had heard about Guru Maharaj, I felt that connection very strongly. And finally one day somebody said, Guru Maharaj is speaking, he's sitting on his veranda, come. And the lady taking me and myself were the only people there. And so Guru Maharaj greeted me so beautifully. And I was quite aware that I was in the presence of someone not of this world. And he said, what are your questions? And I, oh no, I don't have any question. But immediately I understood that the whole time I'd been doing that service, I had been thinking that I was not there because we had the time and the money for the ticket or the schedule, anything like that. And so the question that came out was, how can I remain in the holy Dham wherever I may go? And he answered, it is not by our good works, nor our austerities, nor any scholarship, nor any any charitable works that we may perform, but it is by our intense earnestness. And I was becoming more and more enlivened because I definitely didn't have any of those first things he mentioned. But when he said intense earnestness, I said, what if we have no earnestness? And he said, for that we will take the assistance of the Vaishnavas. And so that's what we've come to see, that all of the Vaishnavas who are still trying in this line to follow will be granted this complete success of remaining coordinated. Whatever that path will present to us, we'll just continue to navigate, and we'll feel all of the support and the love that is part of this path. We'll always be feeling that. Sometimes it may be a rockier path and sometimes a very smooth path. Both are very good for us, but both are eternal, so we'll get that. And even in the modern day, forever now, those who are following, someone will manifest who's giving that same divine teaching. And it's true, like Devashish Prabhu was pointing out, and we have heard that Guru Maharaj is not just a wonderful, illustrious member of our Sampradaya, but he will always stand out as, let's keep reading his words, let's keep understanding them, and see how Srila Govinda Maharaj explained them, and all of their followers, how are they always keeping them alive for us. We need to be pushed a little bit this way or a little bit that way, but there's always some connection who will give us that direct guidance, because it is a living and it is our birthright.
Now we will hear from Srilekha Didi.
I have a really soft voice, so I'm going to sound like I'm yelling. Do I sound like I'm yelling? I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, it's so nice to see old friends' faces here. Am I holding this too? Or? Yeah, just like that. I think, so we were reading a little passage in the car, something that I had the good fortune to hear something, one of the wonderful videos on YouTube. I'm mentioning it because there are a lot. You can see his movements, you can see his expressions, laughing is beautiful to see. And everything he's explaining all the things that when we hear about Krishna consciousness remain with a little question mark. And I think the big question mark is Sharanagati. Right? We're always hearing this is the central thing. This is it. This is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Shikaya Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana. That means Sharanagati is the life of the devotee. So we're like, okay, how do you do that? And we're reading Avichincha Beda Beda Siddhanta Prakash. The Guru Maharaj is, and the Siddhanta coming from his divine mouth are one and the same. So it's important, and of course, separate in this wonderful, mysterious way. So it's important to talk about, as Devashish Prabhu was saying, to talk about Sharanagati. Because it's a really practical practice. It's not like, oh, Sharanagati, It's really a day-to-day thing. It can become minute to minute. It can become second to second, because it is real life. And so I just wanted to, I know that the program can't go on so long, so I will just read a little passage from what we were reading in the car on the way here. This very, very beautiful explanation of Sharanagati. Okay, you shouldn't have told me that. You're going to regret that. So I'll just read you this very small little passage. We must live in the midst. You know, the word midst means in the middle. All around us, we must live in the midst of the infinite. Under the unlimited sky. And we must live in this sky. He said, Guru Maharaj is saying, Krishna Icha. Tava Icha, Icha means desire, his will. He's saying any desire, any movement, any suggestion may come anywhere, anytime to us to obey. Such preparedness we shall stand face to face with the environment. How will that come to us? It will come in our mind. It will come in our emotions. It will come in our body. It will come in the objects of the senses. It will come as an impression from someone else. But it is all a manifestation of infinite will. We think, what? Whether that little bug goes by me or not, that's infinite will. This is actually truth. The only reason we're not seeing it, why aren't we seeing it? Does anyone have any idea? All around us is infinite will. Infinite will is by its nature Vishuddha Sattva. It is perfectly good. There's nothing wrong with it. And it is fully cognizant. That means there is nothing unconscious there. Nothing is unconscious. It is all divine consciousness of the service world. And it is full of nectar. Guru Maharaj said, the scriptures and the great saints are saying the whole environment is full of nectar. Why aren't we feeling that? You're like, wait a second. I don't know. I can tell you a few non-nectar things that's already happened to me today. So we're not in synergy with this. Why not? What did you say?
Acquired prejudice.
Acquired prejudice, yeah. Anybody else? This is really good. So when we put the limits on what reality should do, we're actually putting ourselves in a cage. And we cannot see the environment because we don't like it, unless it's doing stuff for me that my mind has decided is going to make me happy. Does this make any sense to anyone? Is it making sense? Okay, so I like the environment. This is pretty. This has got some flowers. This is good. Maybe it's even spiritual. And I know incense is spiritual, but the heat, not so spiritual. This is called prejudice. But how do you deal with suffering? We all know this word. We're not taking it out of our spiritual dictionary. Who doesn't know what really intense suffering feels like? Anybody? We know. What do we do then? What do we do when the mind is getting warped out and we do not know how to deal? Is that the environment? It is. The environment has come in this form, but tatpenu kampam shishimikshimano, it is good for me. I have created the necessity for my own rectification. It has come in a friendly mood. So what do we do? Where is Sharanagati in the midst of suffering? We bow down to that because there is nothing outside of his will. Krishna says in the 4 main verses of the Bhagavatam, if you see or feel anything strong and you think it has no connection with me, that is called Maya. It is from him. And it is coming like medicine to me. But I'm not the surgeon. I don't know where this is taking me. I don't know how his divine will is pushing me to another plane of understanding through this suffering. But I bow down because it's truth. Reality is not a bunch of mistakes. Reality is a bunch of wonder. And it's coming in such a friendly mood. And I always like this example that the dentist who pay him good money and he hurts you. The environment, because it hurts, doesn't mean it's bad. Well, that's not spiritual. That's the material world. That's a misconception. The infinite is what is truth. And truth is not somewhere else. Truth is truth. It's always everywhere. It is truth. So what I don't see as divine, that is called illusion. And we can bow down and smile, Gurudev said. Smile. Get it surgically put on your face if you have to. And say something. We say, yes. This is good for me. This thing that makes me feel like I don't know where I am or how I'm going to manage, this thing is good for me. And I connect with you through surrender. Let this take me where you have decided is my next best prospect of progress. Let this gnarly situation come, and I recognize it as your grace. I bow down to you and I say, yes, my Lord, this is good for me. Please keep me. And you know what will happen? One of the things, it will crack the heart. The heart is encased in lead. And part of that lead is that person is weird. And that person is having such a hard time, you know what I'm saying? And maybe through those cracks, the seedling of compassion will grow. And when we feel that through our suffering, through the things that the Lord is bringing to us to push us forward, then we can understand Guru. Because the Guru he is receiving benedictions from the ocean of mercy. And that tendency to criticize, that nasty addiction of this world, it doesn't mean we're not discriminating one thing, oh, this association or that association, but the desire to be cruel, that will leave us through these events of progress that the Lord is. And that essence of Sharanagati is the essence of the teaching of Srila Bhakti Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. He's telling us how to do it. It's practical. It's not some pie in the sky. Sharanagati. We don't even know what to do with it. It is a minute to minute, and you got to make your friends, those who can help you through, by remembering that. They're the friends who are the best persons in existence. They'll say, oh man, I know you're having a real hard time here. And I get that. You know, you want some water, you need some ice cream, hot chocolate. Go to sleep. Just take a nap. Take a break. But let the surgeon do what he's doing. This is not the end of your world. This is not the thing that, I got to get out of here. No. This is coming from the hand of Suhridam, your sweetheart. Suhridam, you can translate it as sweetheart. Suhridam. Yeah, like a sweetheart. Everything's coming from him. Let him do his work and grab onto his feet and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which will recenter us to the center and put everything into perspective. The center, when we know the center, we know where everything else goes. And when we don't know anything. Got this thing over here, and then I got this problem over here. And then I'm gonna, oh my God, I don't know. I'll think about that later. That's okay. We have practical service to do, but we must know the central conception, and then we know what to do because we know where we're going. This is the essence of all religion. It is the essence of all yoga. It is the all-accommodating reality where nothing is sacrificed because everything is pushing me toward my dearest beloved. And Guru Maharaj said, it is the necessity, and it is the beauty, and it is the destination, all in one. Sharanagati. So we're really trying, and we need each other for this, because you're facing the mirror of your own illusion. Now, that's not easy sometimes, but we're okay. An illusion is an illusion. Your father, your guardian, your friend, you go, it's okay. It's not that thing. You bow down and you will find progress. You will find, oh my Lord, I don't know how I could have understood any other way but this way. All we have to do is let him do it. Mamekam sharanam. Me only, you surrender. Ahang tuang sarvapa, baby. I'm going to take all that out of you. Moksha shami, I will make you free from all illusion. And then what's the last two words? Ma shucha. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. Just let me do it. That's so easy. Just let me do it. Take it. Bow down. Move forward. And more that will become our prana. It is the Bhakti-tara prana. So Jai Srila Bhakti Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, our beloved, our father, our grandfather, our great-grandfather, our great-great-grandfather. He's loving you like anything, and he will never leave you. Never. Jai Abhibha Mahamahotsa ki.
Thank you, Srilekha Devi. That was overwhelming and super beautiful. We're now passing the mic to Sudarshan.
Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Dandavad, all devotees. So wonderful to see many faces again. How are you all? Dandavad to the devotees. So nice to hear such a beautiful explanation of the core dimension of Guru Maharaj's Siddhanta. So wonderful to hear the appreciations from Devashish Prabhu, Kumkum Devi Dasi. Excuse me. Sometimes I think as a devotee, we have these special days, many, many special days. It's a great gift of the Vaishnava calendar. It's just day after day after day after day. There's some type of holy remembrance that we can do, some observation of a holy day. But today is a really uniquely holy day, not just in our line, not just for this planet, really for this universe. Srila Guru Maharaj brought his full mercy to this plane. Sripad Devashish Prabhu mentioned something that I never heard this morning, and he just mentioned it again. This statement by Srila Govinda Maharaj that Rupa Goswami has appeared in the form of Srila Guru Maharaj. And we hear, special pastimes where Guru Maharaj is recognized as Rupa Anugatara. And, I can say this is probably my own fault, but I grew up in Gurukula in ISKCON. And I remember as I got a little bit older and I was in my 20s, or maybe 19, I think maybe it's the first time I really grasped and processed the term Rupa Anuga. I've never really heard it before, which is strange. You grow up as a devotee, but you never really hear Rupa Anuga. And you have to, have some understanding of Charitamrita and how Mahaprabhu gave everything to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is establishing what is the sacred places for the Vaishnavas, for the worshippers of Sri Krishna, and so much Shastra of a very high way, of a very introductory, but also very high thing. But really, Rupanuga means he's holding the full conception of Mahaprabhu. What is divine love of the Lord? What is Krishna Prema? So Guru Maharaj came and distributed that in such a way that is extremely practical, that Mataji explains so nicely, what is the actual practice of Sharanagati? And how does that apply to our life? Somehow we are in connection with that. If we really examine within ourselves, when we came into connection with Chaitanya Saraswati Maharaj, do we have some idea, I'm going to find Rupanuga? Really, we don't even know how to even say that. All we're doing is feeling some sense of necessity within ourselves, knowing that where I want to be and where I am, there's a gap between that. And so we're just searching, right? We just know that we're in need. We don't really understand what we're in need of. But somehow, all of us who are here, and so many others, great souls have come under the shelter of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj. And we may really not understand what that is, but we have come into that. And Prabhu mentioned earlier, he said, the slightest connection with the highest thing. If we can have the slightest connection, a connection really means seva. It means some type of service, some type of contribution, some type of giving of whatever we are toward that. Then so much benefit beyond even what we're able to conceive can come to us. The Srila Guru Maharaj, he wrote so many wonderful compositions, but one of them, Bhakti Vinod Viraha Dashakam, which means a prayer and service, remembrance of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And one particular shloka there was really appreciated by Saraswati Thakur. And the last line of the Sri Radha Pada Sevanamritam Aho Taddatu Misho Bhavan. That Bhakti Vinod Thakur, you know, Guru Maharaj is recognizing what all the things that Bhakti Vinod Thakur came to give and culminating what is the seva of Sri Radha. And Saraswati Thakur was recognizing in that composition, oh, someone has come who is receiving what I came to give and who can carry that. And again, he showed, and we all know these stories, but it's very important to remember when Saraswati Thakur is on his deathbed and going to leave this planet, he wants to remember Srila Rupa Goswami. This very fine line of Rupa Manjari, which many of us, we don't really understand what it is. And we don't need to understand it intellectually. We need to just give our heart, because somehow we've come into this line. We don't even understand it. We don't even know how we got here. But some really inconceivable mercy has come to us. And at the time of Saraswati Thakur's departure, the song of Sri Rupa was sung, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. And it was sung by a brahmachari with like a voice like a Gandharva, like absolutely beautiful. And Saraswati Thakur stopped that singing. He said, I don't want to hear the tune. Sridhar Maharaj will sing this song. And very clearly to everyone, it's showing that Saraswati Thakur is recognizing who can actually worship Rupa Goswami, who can actually sing this song with the heart that is resonating with the heart of Saraswati Thakur. And that's Guru Maharaj. And we can even hear this pastime and we still kind of maybe don't know exactly what it means. But we know that somehow beyond all of our layers of almost incalculable amounts of crap that's inside of us, so many layers of ego, so many layers of misconception, we somehow come into connection with that. And what can you do with that? How are you going to deal with that in your life? You can't just like say thanks. Oh, hey, that's great. Oh, this is the highest thing? Seriously? Wow, awesome. You have to interact with it with seva. It's the only way you can interact with it. Whatever you are, whatever you have within you, that is something that you can give. And it might be just like giving some calories. You know what I mean? Or giving some of your heart, or giving some of your attention, or giving some of your time to spend, as Devashish Prabhu said, reading Prapanna-jivanamritam every day. Or something. Give some sacrifice of what you are toward slightest connection to the highest thing. Whatever you can do, you somehow come into that shelter. That type of shelter, which is Chaitanya Saraswati. And spiritual life is very, very real. It's not going to be maybe what we think it is. And as we go along a little bit more, our preconceptions and prejudices will get challenged. And that's good. And just continue, like Srila Gurudeva would say, you don't understand what your fortune is, but I do. Gurudeva would say that, not like I do. Gurudeva would say, you don't understand what your fortune is, but I do. And stay in the boat. Somehow you have come into this boat that's going to a destination, that's going to an ideal that you haven't even formulated. But it's going to come down to you by grace, by staying in that connection. Well, it's a very simple, sweet thing. Somehow establish some type of seva connection to this ideal, to the ideal of Srila Guru Maharaj, and maintain that and give to it. And even though it might get really difficult and confusing, and the ocean might have a lot of waves that smack you around a little bit, stay in the boat and keep going with a smile to the destination. You know, a wonderful life has come. An almost inconceivable lifetime has come to you where despite your mind and all the stuff that's going on, you've come into the shelter of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudeva, and this wonderful conception of Rupa Anuga Sampradaya and the pure line of love of the Lord from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is a very, very special day. You know, whatever we can do to open our heart, to try to set ourselves, to appreciate the devotees around us, because really anyone who's come into this type of ideal in life is a very special person. So to appreciate those devotees and to make a happy commitment in life. Wow, let me give something of what I am to the service of Srila Guru Maharaj. That's my sharing here today. Appreciate you all. Dandavats.
Now we will hear from Rai Kishori.
I'm very happy to listen. Dhanavats to all the devotees. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be with you all. Srila Guru Maharaj is such a illustrious and amazing saint that it is quite difficult to actually say any type of words that are appropriate in any way whatsoever. But sometimes we have to risk it because our friends are asking us. You know, India is actually quite a sophisticated world of spiritual life. And Srila Guru Maharaj is exemplifying when the relative and the absolute are actually manifesting at the same time. It's not always like that, but when it happens, it's even more glorious. He's coming from a very dignified background, from the most high type of conceptual thinkers, and arriving at deeper and deeper revelations on the nature of reality, so much so that his own guru is giving him the title of Shastra Nipuna. What type of culture has these types of titles to give towards others? Like we read in the songbook, there's a name, Kavi Raj, right? Kavi is poet and Raj means king. They're recognizing this type of person has such an illumination in their heart that we will give them the title of the king of eloquent, beautiful words coming out of their mouths. So Saraswati Thakur is giving the name Shastra Nipuna. And we know, you know, that there's oceans and oceans of scriptures that are coming with all different kinds of directives. And they have so much affection inside of them. But it is veritably an ocean. Right? We're coming kind of from a background that's like and now you're seeing volumes and volumes and volumes steeped in culture where it's even an oral tradition where it may not even be in writing. And how do you discern what's the important thing to do? So then Saraswati Thakur is giving us that illumination, saying he sees this ocean of scripture and he can give us the inner meaning, the portent of what those affectionate beings are trying to say. So it's an amazing title. and one that's most wondrous, coming from a culture of deep sophistication in the culture of devotion. And here we are, or here I am, somehow or other. And we hear, actually, there's great thinkers, and they say that the most noble job of a soul is to find the highest possible ideal in the universe and to try and go towards that. And it's no small thing. But what a soul actually is something quite dignified and beautiful. And it's our largest duty to actually find what is the most beautiful thing in this universe. But we're steeped in layers of who we are. We can't possibly even deal with the people around us in the same way. You know, and we get flashes. Sometimes we see, we get a moment where clarity hits us and we realize I might die. That's a clarity, right? And what does that mean? It means that I have a finite number of seconds before I exit this, right? All the money, all the beauty, all the power, all the wealth ever gave awaits alike the inevitable hour. The path of glory leads but to the grave, right? So you hear in economics, if there's not very much of it, it's quite a valuable thing. So we get like a flash sometimes. I'm not here that long. Well, what's the most valuable thing I could do with would we treat the people around us? What to speak of something more divine? What to speak of like the sadhus that are near in the same way if we feel this type of urgency in our lives? And what is the highest goal? Who are we to try and speak of the truth? Right? Such like a major risk to try and speak of the truth. Right? We're hearing so many amazing, and like anytime we're coming into contact with Srila Guru Maharaj's words, they're broad, they're kind, they're merciful, and they're illuminating. Right? There really is light and darkness. Right? There really is an amazing shining light. And so when we're saying, he is the repository of mining the scriptures for what's the most important thing. And he's starting to paint this picture of a goal that could possibly be had. And if we start to actually have an ideal, then we see where we're in reference to that ideal. Now you know why not that many people want to have an ideal. Because we might get a little gauge of where we're at. But the truth is the only place that we can ever start any quest, right? Wherever we are, right? And these are also like, wherever we stand, we're hearing this advice. Try to hear the advice of the Vaishnava. And so somehow, Srila Guru Maharaj, when he speaks, very much free-flowing, it's not edited 500 times over, just coming out of his mouth is divine truth. And in a very condensed way. And there's so many like condensed truths that are coming out of him. And each one of them we can spend our whole life and the next meditating on them. That's how broad they are, right? So like some very favorite sentences of Srila Guru Maharaj, he gives us the vocabulary to understand the definition to these types of qualities. He says, chastity is to remember why you originally came, right? This is an amazing definition of chastity. He said, humility means being open to infinite possibility. This is an amazing thing. We're really, I mean, like if we're thinking about possibilities, like maybe we got 5 or 10 on tap. We're stretching, maybe there's 20. Infinite possibility. Are we ready? Like what is a devotee who's ready for any situation? And Srila Guru Maharaj's own words in Loving Search for the Lost Servant, he said, even falling down when done properly can be the ground for advancement. What kind of revelation is coming out of him? Who can see in such a broad manner? Who can see that these things need to be gone through in a transformative way? Who has the ultimate hope behind all things? Right? You know, we are not Shastra Nipuna. right? His Guru Maharaj's definition, you could say all of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the condensation inside of the epic, and used properly, epic Mahabharata. Everything is quite all right. I need only adjust myself. That's his summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. That is such an amazing realization. If I read the Bhagavad Gita, which I try to do, that is not the summary that would have come to me. So what kind of grace actually is it to be in proximity of the saint, who despite ourselves is freely giving of themselves in such an affectionate and kind manner? And of course, if we're going to talk about Srila Guru Maharaj, we know that we have a very equal debt, so to speak, to Srila Gurudev, because we wouldn't be having this conversation about the type of conception that comes from Srila Guru Maharaj if it wouldn't be for that truly affectionate care to allow us to come near. And so really, we're always talking about this culture of giving, that we try to, we do our best to try and illuminate the world. Srila Guru Maharaj talks about that giving is truly, it's not comparable, it's exponentially more beautiful than taking or exploiting. And this is an anthem, actually, from the spiritual world. And we're saying this over and over, but we find ourselves going from temple to temple, where so much sacrifice has happened, and we're actually continually adding to our own debt with how much kindness has come to us, right? So we want to spend, and really we can think of it like this. We don't want to just do this for a couple of weeks or a couple months or a couple years, right? But ad infinitum, right? We want to go life after life. We only want to be near, we want to live in the aftershocks of those divine words and try to worship those words, actually. And really, we can say Guru Maharaj is such a profound, his conceptions are so profound, they're actually not limited to this earth. You can attempt to be a Sharanagati on any planet, in any body, right? We're getting so localized. Even Srila Gurudev would say, sometimes, we know, we can think oh, that person's a king. He's thinking I'm very powerful, I'm a king. But we're kind of doing that with our little hut. This is my hut, my car. It's just that vision is there. And you go, actually, this kind of conception is so broad, it can be practiced anywhere, at any time. And those are Srila Guru Maharaj's own words. We don't need anything else, actually, physical in our environment to attempt to offer ourselves to the Supreme Lord. If that's not the most hopeful news, I know it is. It's really in the midst of such a strange and tragic darkness where everything is constantly falling apart and dissipating. There's a firmament much deeper than that and much more beautiful than that, alluding to something where each and every scripture and saint is our inner heart's well-wisher. And so we want to offer our lives to that and try, though falling desperately short, to offer our obeisances to Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev and the devotees all around. My done all.
We're so very grateful to have all of you come today and celebrate with us Shri Vyasa Puja, Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. It's also the appearance day of Veera Chandra. And Srila Gurudev would comment how it is no coincidence that Srila Guru Maharaj appeared on this day, the same day as Veera Chandra, who was more merciful than Nityananda Prabhu. And he said, so merciful that chaos ensued from the mercy of Veera Chandra. He converted so many Buddhists, thousands of Buddhists, and just made, just disregarded all social customs and caste, and just flooded the whole, everyone he came into contact in the Sampradaya at that time with his mercy. And one thing Srila Gurudev would always tell us that, you know, the grandfather is more merciful than the father. Especially you find that in like Vedic Indian culture, that the parents are real hands-on and fully responsible. The grandparents, they're retired. They're just all about loving and giving and affectionate and playing with the grandchildren. And as Gurudev said in that one talk he gave, we listened to a little clip the other day, that grandparent-grandchild relationship is very special. And I always felt I'm so proud to have Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj as my grandfather. And I'm his grandchild, and like, if we're allowed to be proud, that's just, yeah, just the joy of my life. And living by his teachings, his words, and living with his successor, Acharya, as our guiding light, our Gurudev. Through him, we have connection to our grandfather, and singing his compositions and songs and beautiful books and talks, and Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, flag flying high, singing the glories around the world. These are all gifts of our grandfather Guru, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. So we would like to offer Vyasa Puja, Pushpanjali, and Puja to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Guru Puja, and offer our Bhoga offering. Most of our team here that are left, so many have gone to India, but they are in the kitchen. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj's list of favorites. And it's a very hot day without water and electricity, and they're fully giving their hearts in the kitchen. Do arati and then serve prasadam to all of you. So let us begin, and we welcome everyone who's come from all over. And so glad to have you with us today. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Giridhari Ju ki jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Avirbhav Maha Utsav Titi ki jai. Shri Bira Chandra Prabhu ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rupa Varga ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan ki jai. Shri Navadip Dham ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Jai Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimala Avadhut Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Madha Charja Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Devashish Prabhu ki jai. Sudarshan Prabhu ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.